Thor, Loki, and the Giants' Total Fiasco, Chapter 1, The Brilliant Plan. That already smelled like a bad idea. Thor sat on a rock, arms crossed, his gaze as dark as a thundercloud. He looked like someone who'd just been served cold porridge and told it was part of the charm. Thor, I'm bored, Loki. There hasn't been a proper fight in 3 days. I'm practically rusting in place. A soft rustle, Loki's voice slinks in like a cat through a window. Loki, I have an idea. Let's go to Jotunheim and have a little fun. Thor, fun. I want to smash something. Loki, but think about it. We tease the giants until they get mad. Then you can smash things, double the joy. Thor, that sounds like music to my ears. And then, Loki, then we head home before anyone gets really angry. Of course, that was the first sign that everything would go wrong. But who listens to warning signs when they've got a hammer that can crush mountains? They sneaked aboard Thor's goat-drawn chariot, pulled by Tangrisnir and Tangjoster, both looking suspiciously innocent, and sped off toward Jotunheim. On the way, Loki laid out the details, swapped the giants' ale mugs for tiny children's cups with unicorns, put ice cubes in the giants' beds, and Thor would slam doors so hard the roof tiles would fall off. Loki, what could go wrong? Thor, nothing. Narrator with dry humor, wrong answer, very wrong. Chapter 2, The Giants' Revenge Lunch, sound of wind, cold gusts, a creaking gate. They arrived at the giants' fortress at dawn. The stone walls rose like a mountain, and the gate was so tall even Thor felt small. Loki, perfect. They're still sleeping. We've got plenty of time to rearrange some decor. Thor, should we knock? Thud, the gate flies off its hinges. Thor, or kick it in. The gate landed on an unsuspecting giant who was just getting up to relieve himself. Thor, whoops, my bad. Loki, that wasn't a prank. That was breaking and entering. They sneaked into the great hall. Loki swapped all the ale mugs for tiny pink cups with unicorns. Thor laughed so loudly it echoed through the entire fortress. Then came the highlight. Thor crept up to the giant chieftain Skrymir, who was fast asleep, and painted a massive, goofy smile on his forehead. Soft snicker. Then a crashing sound. Everything was going fine, until Thor got tangled in a curtain rope and pulled down an entire wall tapestry. Giants guards, what are you doing here, Loki? Ah, cleaning. Someone's got to keep this dump tidy. Narrator, but the giants weren't stupid. Soon, 15 of them surrounded Thor and Loki, each one angrier than the last. Thor, it was Loki, he tricked me. Loki, it was Thor, he kicked the door in first. The giants decided to settle the matter their own way, by eating them alive for lunch. Chapter 3, Hammer, Tricks, and Total Disaster. Loki. Plan B, Thor. Plan B is the same as Plan A. I hit everything until it works. With a roar, Thor began swinging Mjolnir. Giants flew like bowling pins. Tables shattered. Mead flowed in rivers. Loki cast illusions, making the giants start hitting each other. One accidentally bashed Skrymir in the head so hard that the goofy smile split in two. Thor, why do they have so many cousins? Loki, it's Jotunheim, not a lonely cabin. Narrator, in the midst of the chaos, Skrymir grabbed a club the size of an oak tree and swung it at Thor. The blow shook the ground so hard that Tangrisnir and Tangjoster bolted with the chariot. Loki, not good, now we've got no escape. Narrator, Thor struck back, but Skrymir was stronger than expected. The blow cracked a mountain. Stones tumbled from the walls. Loki, Thor, watch out. Thud, the hammer falls, the impact made Thor stagger. Mjolnir slipped from his hand. The giants grinned wide, horrible smiles. This was no longer fun. Chapter 4, Odin steps in deep bass, the wind falls silent, hoofbeats of 8 legs. Suddenly, a mighty sound echoed, as if the sky itself took a breath. A grey-clad figure stepped through the ruins of the gate. Odin, enough! Narrator, the giants backed off immediately. It was one thing to fight Thor and Loki, but the one-eyed All-Father, not a chance. Thor dazed. Father, I had everything under control. Odin, under control. You've nearly toppled a mountain, lost your hammer, and started a small giant war. Loki, innocently. I'm completely innocent. Okay, mostly. Maybe a little guilty. But with style. Odin tapped his staff on the ground. The falling rocks froze in midair and settled gently. Odin, You two have driven Jotunheim to madness. If I hadn't come, this could have sparked a war no one wants. Apologize. Now, Thor shocked. What? Me apologize? Loki trying to smile. I can say sorry-ish. Odin, do it, or stay here as the giants' dinner. Chapter 5. A promise that's sure to be broken later. It took the entire afternoon to fix the door, clean up the spilled mead, and sweep away the remnants of the massive brawl. Thor muttering, sorry for the hammer to the face. Skrymir, sorry for the rock to the skull. Loki hesitating, fine hat you've got. Odin sighing, that'll do. Thor, well, that went okay, I guess. Loki furious, okay. I've never been closer to being roasted into giant mince. Thor, we're alive, that's enough. Odin flew above on Sleipnir and shouted, Odin, remember what you promised. No more antics in Jotunheim. Thor and Loki looked at each other and nodded, only to start planning their next adventure the very next second. Loki, how about Ulfheim next time? Thor, sure. But this time we bring extra mead. Laughter. Hammer strikes in the distance. Fade out epilogue. After the dust settled, Asgard welcomed them with evening sun and birdsong, as if nothing had happened. But the goats looked suspiciously content after their little involuntary solo trip back from Jotunheim. Thor went straight and placed the hammer in the hall with a sigh that made the whole of Valhalla vibrate. Loki sat comfortably by Odin's well, already in the process of convincing himself that everything had actually gone really well. There was no war, he muttered. And I got to fight a little, Thor said and smiled. Up on his throne, Odin slowly shook his head. He knew that this was just the beginning. Next time they would find a new place to cause trouble. Ulfheim perhaps, or Midgard, or if really unlucky, both at the same time. But right now it was quiet, a brief moment of peace, a moment that, in Odin's eyes, always felt like the calm before the next storm.